What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about fly fishing with streamers. But before we jump into it, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and ding that bell icon to be updated when I drop some new videos. Let's get into it. Fly fishing with streamers can be one of the most fun and effective ways to target some of the larger trout that you'll find in your rivers and streams near you. One of my favorites to use is the Bead Head Autumn Splendor right here. We'll talk more about that in a minute. You may be asking yourself, what is streamer fishing? Well, streamer fishing is a method of fly fishing using a submerged fly called a streamer. And as the example that I held up before, like the Bead Head Autumn Splendor, it's probably one of the most effective streamers that I've actually used. Streamer is built to imitate a bait fish or a smaller fish that larger fish would generally go after and they would target as food. Some can look like leeches, crayfish. They could be small, they could be medium, they could be larger. But a lot of people, they'll tell you one of their favorites is the woolly booger. And you know what? I don't complain with those either. You might be asking yourself, why would I use a streamer? Well, when it comes to answering that question of why, there's a few different reasons for it. So the main reason that I fish with streamers is because big fish, they need to eat a lot. So they're not wasting their time dealing with small flies, small bait, or in their natural habitat, small fish. They're going to go after something a lot larger. They're going to be going after the things that they can get the most protein and fill up the fastest on. Streamers are also a great way to cover a large amount of water in a smaller time frame by using a certain cast and retrieve method. An angler, fly fisherman, they can cover an entire pond in minutes rather than taking a longer time to do it. Streamer fishing can also be one of the most exciting methods of fly fishing because as you're bringing it back in from your cast, you're going to end up getting a violent attack on it. They're going to hit that streamer and then the real game starts. You also have to keep in mind it's not just about the hungry fish. It's about all the fish. So one of the most aspects of fishing streamers versus drifting nymphs or tossing out dries is that it's a great way to hook a fish that wouldn't normally be actively looking to feed. It could be an issue where they're territorial, so you get something down into that strike zone, they're going to strike it. You're probably asking yourself, well, when should I use a streamer? So, for instance, if there's a heavy rainstorm and the water's murky, that's the best time to use a streamer. If it's a deep hole and you need to get to the bottom of it, because that's where a lot of fish like to sit, a lot of the bigger ones at least, they'll lay towards the bottom because they want to conserve energy. That's when you want to use a streamer. You want to get it down there as deep as possible and you want to fish it from there. Another good time to use a streamer is if you're having trouble matching the hatch of the season. When I first started fly fishing, I really never understood matching the hatch as much as I do now. That's when different insects come out. So that's another great time to grab your streamer and throw it in there. You also have to remember that trout are at their most active when the water is between 55 and 60 degrees. And that may be the issue for them not rising, is if the water is too hot or the water is too cold. And if you get a large meal in front of them, they're more inclined to take it, and then you've got your fish on. You're probably asking yourself, well, when is the best time or the best place to use a streamer? And I'm going to tell you some of the best places to target streamers, to throw them in, are protected places, such as under banks, behind large rocks, around submerged trees, logs, etc., and in deep pockets of water. You'll find deep pools as you're traversing these different rivers. That's the best time to throw one in and see what might grab. Another really important thing that you want to do when you're out there on the river is you want to learn to be able to read the river. When you're fishing, you want to look for things that provide cover for the fish, because no matter what fish it is, they need cover. They have predators, they have other things out there, not just us trying to catch them, but birds and everything else. So you want to aim for the banks and you want to aim for the deep pockets, but also you want to fish the seam of a river. If you come up to a river and it comes up and it forks off, where you have slower water and faster water running, you're going to want to fish the seam, and the seam is right down the middle. It's basically like they're waiting in line in the lunchroom, waiting for their turn to strike on something. You're probably wondering, how do you go ahead and you fish a streamer? Well, I'm going to tell you. Like we discussed earlier in this video, you're going to want to get down. The number one golden rule is you're going to want to get down really low. So getting down to the bottom of the stream is key for this. You want to take them, you want them to sink, and you want to get them right in front of the fish. Number two, you're going to want to mend it. And what that means is once the fly has been in the water for about 2 or 3 seconds, you're going to want to go ahead and throw a downstream mend on it. This will allow the current to pull the fly down to the side and opposite the bank that you're at. Another thing that's important is you want to make sure you keep your tip down. You want to make sure, even sometimes, 1 inch to 2 inches under the water. The next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about stripping the line. As your streamer is approaching the top of the pool that you're trying to fish at, you're going to want to pull little strips, 2 to 3 inches at a time, to work that action. The next step you're going to want to do is you're going to want to not to forget to go ahead and jig the line. The importance of jigging the line is you're going to keep that action going, and it's going to really entice the trout to come after it. Once you're about parallel with the shoreline, you're going to want to start stripping the line, and you're going to want to start jigging it. That way, you're going to get the maximum amount of time in the water. A lot of people mess up at this point. They think that it's over, so they just go ahead and they bring it back in and they set up for their next cast. But what they're doing is they're removing their bait right out of there, right before the fish could potentially attack. I hope all this really helped you guys out, and I'd like to show you and talk to you guys a little bit about some of the streamers that I use. What we have right here is the Sculptzilla. So this imitates a lot of feeder fish. This right here, it's pretty large in size. You throw this into there, you're going to get a strike almost 9 times out of 10. These are important to have in your fly box. Another streamer that I like to keep with me is the Beadhead Autumn Splendor. That's what this guy is right here too. This right here, brown trout love them. They attack them, they hit them hard. So if you've got at least 3 or 4 of these on hand, you're in good shape. And if you remember us talking about rainy days and murky water, one of the best things I like to keep on hand is the Clouser Minnow. The Clouser Minnow is an absolute wonder, especially when the water's crap. You can go ahead and you can fish this. It's bright, it's shiny, it's going to reflect anything that's in there, and it's going to really set a precedence for the trout to come after it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit something about streaming. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. I normally get back to them fairly quickly. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We just had a giveaway, and we're going to be doing another one soon.